Of the 7 people preparing for tonight's show, only one will take home the prize money of up to £20,000. The others will leave with nothing after their teammates vote them the weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 7 people in the studio here tonight could win up to £20,000. They don't know each other, however. If they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. But 6 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Rob, I'm 24, I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm from North London.
I'm Philip, I'm 37, I'm a restaurant manager from the Isle of Wight.
My name's Kerry, I'm 30 years old, I'm a student nurse from Ashby de la Zouch.
I'm Stephen, I'm 41, materials manager from Ballycarry, Northern Ireland.
I'm Amanda, 40, a lecturer from Hull.
I'm Malcolm, I'm 40, I'm retired from Walsgate.
My name's Corinna, I'm 26, I'm a house parent from Bristol.
Now the rules in each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £2,500 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 7 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. Remember, at the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be taken forward. In round 1, there are 2.5 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. That's you, Amanda. Let's play the weakest link. The first question is for £50. Start the clock. Amanda, according to the saying, something which spoils success is like a fly in the what?
Ointment.
Correct. Malcolm, what S is the sport and recreation of riding on a board attached to rolling wheels?
Skateboarding.
Correct. Corinna, in travel, British traffic lights are green, amber and which other colour?
Green.
Red. Rob, in language, the word pooch refers to which common pet?
Dog.
Correct. Philip, in nature, how many leaves does a clover have when it is said to bring good luck?
4.
Correct. Kerry, what V is the art of producing vocal sounds that appear to come from a puppet or doll?
Ventriloquism.
Correct. Stephen,
Bank.
in music, Help was the 1965 UK #1 hit single for which Liverpudlian band?
The Beatles.
Correct. Amanda, in the Bible, what food did Jesus say was his body at the Last Supper?
Bread.
Correct. Malcolm, which European city had a tower built by Gustave Eiffel for the 1889 International Exposition?
Paris.
Correct. Corinna, in sport, what is the name of the indoor game based on lawn tennis played with small, solid bats and a light ball on a table?
Table tennis.
Correct. Rob, Lady Diana Spencer married who in 1981?
Prince Charles.
Correct. Philip,
Bank.
in France, what meat would you be eating if you were serving poulet?
Chicken.
Correct. Kerry, in nature, what bee is a blossom on a flowering plant?
A bloom.
Correct. Stephen, in the animal kingdom, the famous English champion Red Rum was what type of animal?
A horse.
Correct. Amanda, in film, complete the title of the 1997 comedy starring Julia Roberts and Cameron Diaz, My Best Friend's What?
Wedding.
Correct. Malcolm,
Back.
in science, which piece of common laboratory equipment is named after Robert Wilhelm Bunsen?
Bunsen burner.
Correct. Corinna, in travel, which American city has an airport with the code JFK?
New York.
Correct. Rob, who was the German leader between 1933 and 1945?
Adolf Hitler.
Correct. Philip, what is
Bang.
the 6th month of the year?
June.
Correct. Kerry, in politics, what T is a written agreement between 2 or more countries?
Treaty.
Correct. Stephen, in pop music, Benny, Bjorn, Agneta and Frida were all members of which Swedish group?
ABBA.
Correct. Amanda, in literature,
Bank.
which fictional detective had a mortal enemy called Professor Moriarty?
Sherlock Holmes.
Correct. Malcolm, in
Bank.
sport, which English football league team has the nickname Spurs?
Tottenham Hotspur.
Correct.
Bank.
Corinna, which city in New Zealand shares its name with a type of waterproof boot?
Wellington.
Correct. Rob, what T is a small-scale lottery with tickets drawn from a revolving drum? Time is up. The correct answer, Rob, is tombola. You only had one incorrect answer in that first round, and you managed to bank £2,350 of the £2,500 available to you. But who, even at this early stage, is looking out of their depths? Did someone perhaps make a mistake arriving here this evening? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Malcolm is the strongest link according to the statistics. Corinna was the only player to answer a question incorrectly, making her the weakest link. But at this early stage of the game, will the other players have realised this?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Corinne.
Corinna.
Corinna.
Amanda.
Rob.
Corinna.
Amanda.
Rob, just remind us what you do.
I'm a singer, Anne, and I write.
Big gigs or small gigs?
Well, I've had a few bigs in my time.
Any little ones?
Oh, plenty of them.
Plenty of them.
Oh, yeah.
And have they ever run a tombola at any of those gigs?
A tombola? I don't believe so, no. I was just singing, there was no lottery.
Because you didn't know the answer to that, but you were saved by the bell. Now, tell us what Corinna has done to disappoint you.
Unfortunately, it's all about mental toughness, Anne, and I'm sorry Corinna hasn't really got it.
Malcolm, where are you from?
Ormskirk.
Ormskirk. Why Corinna?
Ah, she got the question wrong, and she knows the rules. This is a strong team, we want loads of money, and it's tough, you gotta go.
Okay. Corinna, with 4 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
My friends and family are just going to be really disappointed, and they're going to find it really funny. Deep down, I think they thought, yes, she's going to get voted off first. I just hope Rob doesn't win, because he said I haven't got it, and I have. I was just nervous. So, Rob, I hope you don't win.
Round 2 so far, you've won £2,350. There are 6 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's you, Malcolm. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Malcolm, according to the nursery rhyme, whose wife could eat no lean?
Jack Spratt.
Correct. Rob, in nature, what F is the name given to any of the rigid outgrowths that form the plumage of birds?
Feathers.
Correct. Philip, in which sport can you score a basket?
Basketball.
Correct. Kerry, in travel, Alitalia is the national airline of which country?
Italy.
Correct.
Bank.
Stephen, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is an indicator of share values on which country's stock exchange?
America.
Correct. Amanda, what B is the name for the first breath testing device first used by British police in the 1960s to deter drink driving?
Breathalyzer.
Correct. Malcolm, Jarlsberg is a variety of what food?
Beer.
Cheese. Rob, in religion, by what other name is the Western Wall in Jerusalem known?
Jericho.
The Wailing Wall. Philip, the Statue of Liberty and Times Square are landmarks in which US city?
New York.
Correct. Kerry, in nature, what F is a very hard stone that produces sparks when struck with iron or steel?
Flint.
Correct. Stephen, in pop music, who did Eric Clapton shoot in the title of his 1974 hit single?
The Sheriff.
Correct. Amanda, which famous
Bank.
American actress starred in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and All About Eve?
Betty Davis.
Correct. Malcolm, in music, adagio is a direction to play or sing a piece at what pace, quickly or slowly?
Quickly.
Slowly. Rob, on what side of the road do the Japanese drive?
The left.
Correct. Philip, in the animal kingdom, what sea is a small bird brought to Europe from the Canary Islands during the 15th century?
The Canary.
Correct. Kerry, in theatre, the songs Who Will Buy and Boy for Sale appear in which Lionel Bart musical?
Oliver.
Correct. Stephen,
Bank.
in history, which English king married Anne of Cleves in 1540?
Henry VIII.
Correct. Amanda, in the animal kingdom, mallard, eider and canvasback are all types of which bird?
A duck.
Correct.
Bank.
Malcolm, in which 1998 war film does Tom Hanks' character attempt to rescue a soldier whose 3 brothers have been killed?
Saving Private Ryan.
Correct. Rob, in snooker, which colour ball has a value of 7 points when potted?
It's the black ball.
Correct. Philip, in the animal kingdom, greys and reds are both kinds of what K native to Australia?
Kangaroo.
Correct, Kerry. According to the title of the stage musical and 1954 film, how many brides partnered the Seven Brothers?
7.
Correct, Stephen.
Right.
In which Italian city would you be most likely to see a gondola?
Venice.
Correct, Amanda. In nature. Time is up. You won £1,600 in that round. You could, of course, have won another 2,500. Who is most responsible for the disappointing performance? I urge you, dump the dunce, ditch the ditherer, dispatch the dead wood. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Stephen is the strongest link statistically. Malcolm has gone from strongest link to weakest link. But will his earlier performance be enough to save him when it comes to the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Malcolm.
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 Amanda.
Well, you're certainly working as a team. Philip, what do you do?
I run a restaurant now.
A sort of smart restaurant or a not very smart restaurant?
Yeah, it's quite smart, actually. It's only a small 28-seater, fine dining.
What makes it a smart restaurant?
I think, well, the sort of people we get and the food that we serve.
Why do you want to get rid of Malcolm?
Because he got 2 questions wrong there, which were relatively simple, and he was the weakest link.
Amanda, what do you do?
I'm a lecturer in computing.
That's interesting.
A bit.
Would you have Malcolm as a pupil?
Yes, for entertainment value.
But not to get money for the team. Malcolm used to work in a farm shop, and I don't know how much beer he sells thinking it was cheese or cheese thinking it was beer, but you are unanimously, Malcolm, the weakest link. Goodbye.
I think Stephen will win because he's got the look of the Irish on me. Amanda might be voted off next because she is a bit hesitant on her answers.
Round 3, team. So far you have £3,950. You could, of course, by now have won 5,000. You're down to 5 players. We're taking another 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Stephen. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Stephen, in sport, which winter event held every 4 years did the Norwegian town of Lillehammer host in 1994?
The Winter Olympics.
Correct, Amanda. Martha Washington was married to which American president?
George Washington.
Correct, Rob. In sport, the father of which famous golfer wrote a coaching guide called Training a Tiger?
Tiger Woods.
Correct, Philip. In which country was fashion designer Coco Chanel born?
In France.
Correct, Kerry.
Bank.
What G is a Hindu word for a spiritual teacher?
Guru.
Correct, Stephen. In politics, for which party was James Callaghan elected Prime Minister?
The Labour Party.
Correct, Amanda. What N is a city in the English county of Norfolk?
Norwich.
Correct, Rob. Actress Annette Bening married which Dick Tracy star in 1992?
Warren Beatty.
Correct, Philip.
Bang.
In TV, which detective did Sharon Gless play in the US 1980s series Cagney and Lacey?
Cagney.
Correct, Kerry. In cookery, what S is a dish consisting of Dublin Bay prawns, usually coated in breadcrumbs and fried?
Scampi.
Correct, Stephen. In Wales, which is furthest west, Swansea, Cardiff or Newport?
Newport.
Swansea. Amanda. Plie and arabesque are movements associated with which type of dance?
Ballet.
Correct, Rob. In the animal kingdom, how many wings does a dragonfly have?
4.
Correct, Philip. In film, complete the title of the 1996 romantic comedy starring Uma Thurman, The Truth About Cats and what?
Pass.
Dogs. Kerry. What T is a bird from South and Central America with a large, brightly coloured beak and is a relative of the woodpecker?
Toucan.
Correct, Stephen. In history, the 15th century battles between the houses of York and Lancaster were known as the Wars of the what?
The Roses.
Correct, Amanda. In
Bank.
sport, which American sprinter won the Olympic 100 metres gold medal in 1984 and 1988?
Carl Jackson.
Carl Lewis. Rob, in which European country would you find the industrial port of Bilbao?
Spain.
Correct, Philip. What waterproof item of clothing was first manufactured by a Scotsman and is named after him?
Macintosh.
Correct, Kerry. In the animal kingdom, what name is given to a young duck?
A duckling.
Correct,
Bank.
Stephen. In which country would you find the Ural Mountains?
In Spain.
Russia. Amanda. In US politics, of which American... Time is up. And in that round, you banked £1,350. But who is past their best? I advise you keep the mean, ditch the lean. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
This time, the statistics show that Kerry is the strongest link. Stephen has gone from strongest link to weakest link, although he did bank money for the team. But will the voting follow the facts?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Amanda.
Amanda.
Stephen.
Philip.
Philip.
Well, we have a tie team. Philip and Amanda, 2 votes each. Amanda, that's an interesting choice. Why Philip?
He got 1 question wrong.
Do you know anyone else who got 1 question wrong?
I think Stephen did.
Anyone else?
No, not that I registered.
You didn't register yourself getting 1.
Oh, obviously, yes. I was 50% right. Which is not quite good enough, I know.
Philip! Don't you like Amanda?
No, it's not that at all. It's
Really? Well, she's not being very nice
no,
about you.
I don't like her very much now. No.
No.
'Cause
Would you have her in your upmarket restaurant?
I think we would. We let anybody in, really.
Oh, it's not very upmarket then, is it? So why Amanda?
Because she got 1 question wrong. I know I did, but that's why I voted for her.
Well, when the vote is tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. So, Kerry, as the strongest link, what you have to do now is decide against our restaurateur, who'll let anyone into his restaurant, and our university lecturer, Amanda.
In my book, if you're half right, you're wrong. Amanda's got to go.
Amanda, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
It feels very peculiar to be voted off as the weakest link. I made a mistake. I got a question half right, and that wasn't enough.
Round 4, team. So far, you've banked £5,300 out of potential prize money of £7,500. There are 4 of you left. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have only 2 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Kerry. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Kerry, in music, the composer Johann Strauss was known as the what king?
Waltz.
Correct. Stephen, what was the first name of the 14th century English poet Chaucer?
George.
Geoffrey. Rob, in film, Daryl Hannah starred as a mermaid in which 1984 comedy?
Splash.
Correct. Philip, in TV, which puppet series had the working title International Rescue?
Thunderbirds.
Correct. Kerry, in gardening, what S is a type of pruning shears whose name is an adaptation of a French word?
Secateurs.
Correct. Stephen, in musical instruments, from what is a bassoon mainly made?
Wood.
Correct. Rob, in the UK, in which decade was the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II?
The 30s.
1950s. Philip, in modern history, Anzac Day is a commemorative national holiday in Australia and which other country?
New Zealand.
Correct. Kerry, what's the sum of the number of sides of 3 octagons?
360.
24. Stephen, in fashion, pashmina is a woolen fabric made from the hair of the belly of which animal?
Goat.
Correct. Rob, in human biology, what C is a word used to describe an abnormal condition present at birth?
Pass.
Congenital. Philip, which West End play tells the story of 3 friends who fall out over a piece of modern art?
Blood Money.
Art. Kerry, in which North American country is the state of Tabasco?
Mexico.
Correct. Stephen, which rock and roll singer best known for Great Balls of Fire was nicknamed the Killer?
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Correct. Rob, which falls on the river Zambezi in Africa were named after a British queen by the explorer David Livingstone?
Glenn.
Victoria. Philip, in physics, what type of current do batteries produce, direct or alternating current?
Alternating.
Direct. Kerry, which port is situated on the narrow peninsula of Portsea Island in Hampshire?
Southsea.
Portsmouth. Stephen, in film, in which country was the 1987 epic The Last Emperor set?
China.
Correct. Rob, in what type of building was Abraham Lincoln assassinated?
The White House.
A theatre. Time's up and you banked a miserable £250. I wonder whose fault that was. Who do you think has outstayed their welcome? Forget charity, forget entertainment. You need to be ruthless to be rich. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Having survived the vote as weakest link, the statistics show Stephen is the strongest link for the second time. The weakest link is Rob, but will the voting reflect the reality?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Stephen.
Stephen.
Rob.
Rob.
We have a tie. Rob and Stephen. 2 votes each. How's it going, Rob?
It's all right, Anne. It's all right. You know?
Why Stephen?
Do you know, he got quite a few wrong in that round, and
What in your songwriting vernacular is quite a few?
I'm sure he got 3, you know?
So you thought he was the weakest link, did you?
Oh, indeed.
There wasn't any other reason why you were voting for him?
Well, no. Goodness, no.
Stephen, had enough of Rob?
Yeah, I think he was certainly the weakest link that time.
Yeah. Don't find him amusing?
No. Certainly not now.
Irritates you, does he?
Yes.
Well, let's see. When the vote is tied, the strongest link has to cast the deciding vote. And I'm afraid, Rob, you made a very, very unfortunate selection because, you see, the strongest link is Stephen. So, Stephen, are you sticking?
Let me see. Yes, I think I'll stick. Rob has to go.
Rob, we never heard you sing, but we do know you haven't the foggiest idea when it comes to biology, history and geography, and that's just in the last round. You are the weakest link, Rob. Goodbye.
It's pretty demoralising to be voted off the weakest link, but I think the reason I was voted off was because of my chiselled physique and nothing to do with the fact that I had a few questions wrong. It's hard going out there, but mental toughness and coolness is very important.
Round 5, team. Your total so far is £5,550. If you'd hit your targets, it would be 10,000. There are 3 of you left. You now have to do without the genius of Rob. Another 10 seconds coming off the time. We start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Stephen. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Stephen, what is the collective name for a group of deer?
A herd?
Correct, Philip. In rugby league, how many points is a try worth?
3.
4. Kerry, in transport, disc and drum are varieties of which safety device on cars?
Brake.
Correct. Stephen, in biology, the frequency of live births within a population over a set period is referred to as the birth what?
Birth rate?
Correct, Philip. In maths, if you were £150 overdrawn and you paid in a cheque for £1,000, what would your new balance be?
£850.
Correct, Kerry.
Bang.
Which famous American had a show called The Wild West and Congress of Rough Riders of the World?
Clint Eastwood.
Buffalo Bill. Stephen, in TV, which quiz show hosted by Noel Edmonds challenged families about their knowledge of television?
Teleaddicts.
Correct, Philip. Which income tax payment scheme was first announced in 1943 in the UK?
PAYE.
Correct, pay as you earn. Kerry, in which decade did the English £5 note become blue?
70s.
50s. Stephen, what was the first name of the Gershwin brother who composed Broadway musicals?
George.
Correct, Philip. In geography, the Strait of Gibraltar joins the Atlantic Ocean to which sea?
The Mediterranean.
Correct, Kerry. In pop music, who released the album Purple Rain in 1984?
Prince.
Correct,
Fine.
Stephen. What S is the name for the military action when an army attempts to take a town by surrounding it and cutting off all outside communication?
Siege.
Correct, Philip. Klezmer is a genre of music primarily associated with which religion?
Buddhism.
No, Judaism. Kerry, the name of which Italian volcano translates as I burn in Greek?
Etna.
Correct, Stephen.
Fine.
In which Bond film did Judi Dench make her debut as M?
GoldenEye.
Correct, Philip. In pop music, Electric Ladyland was a 1968 UK. Time is up. And in that round, team, you managed to bag £550. Now, in round 6, you get the chance to triple what you bank, and that means in the next round, potentially, there's £7,500 to be won. The question is, whose day is done, who doesn't deserve to stay, have the courage to vote off the weakest link?
Stephen answered all of his questions correctly, making him the strongest link for the 3rd time. Philip is the weakest link, according to the statistics. But at this crucial stage of the game, who will lose out in the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Stephen.
Stephen.
Kerry.
Kerry, it's an interesting choice of weakest link. Why have you chosen to get rid of the strongest link both in that round and overall in the game?
I haven't voted Stephen off for those reasons. I thought he was the weakest
Oh,
link.
get off! You don't expect anyone to believe that, do you?
Well, my conscience is clear.
Philip, the restaurant manager who'll have anyone in his restaurant. Why have you voted for Stephen?
Well, he voted for me 2 rounds ago, so it's a bit of a personal vendetta there, really, and also I see him as a bit of a threat in the final, really.
So you haven't got any courage either?
No.
OK, well, Stephen, statistically you've been the best player, but Kerry and Philip don't want the competition, so with 2 votes you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Philip or Kerry should be standing here. Either one of them should be standing here, and I should probably be in the final because I was the strongest link, but hey-ho, that's the way cookie crumbles.
Round 6, you've won £6,100 so far. By now, of course, you could have won £12,500. Philip and Kerry, just the 2 of you left, and this time you have only 90 seconds, but whatever you win in this round will be tripled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. So £7,500 is at stake in this round. You voted off the strongest link, so we'll start with the 2nd strongest link from the last round. That's Kerry. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Kerry, in cricket, what is the name for a period of 6 consecutive balls by the same bowler?
An over.
Correct, Philip. If your shopping costs £11 and 11p, how much change would you get from a £20 note?
£9.
£8 and 89p. Kerry, the electric arm was invented in which century?
The 18th.
19th. Philip, in music, which country singer duetted with Kenny Rogers on the 1983 track Islands in the Stream?
Dolly Parton.
Correct. Kerry, in which country of the UK is the Royal Yacht Britannia berthed?
England.
Scotland. Philip, in rugby union, South African Yanni de Beer scored a record 5 drop goals against which country in the 1999 World Cup?
France.
England. Kerry, in the Old Testament, which he was a Hebrew prophet taken up to heaven in a chariot of fire?
Ezekiel.
Elijah. Philip, in TV, what was the occupation of the character played by Telly Savalas in the 1970s US drama Kojak?
He's a police detective.
Correct. Kerry, in the
Thanks.
animal kingdom, which word must be added to lion to make an alternative name for the puma?
Mountain.
Correct. Philip, which
Bank.
town in Shropshire is surrounded by a loop in the River Severn and was the birthplace of Charles Darwin?
Pass.
Shrewsbury. Kerry, which Hollywood heartthrob appeared as the character Tyler Durden in the 1999 film Fight Club?
Brad Pitt.
Correct. Philip, in history,
Bang.
what was the first name of Napoleon's first wife whom he divorced in 1809?
Josephine.
Correct.
Bang.
Kerry, in human biology, myopathy is any disease of which... Time is up. You banked £200, which will triple and add to the winnings from the previous rounds. That means total prize money this evening of £6,700. But of course, only one of you can take that money away, so now you'll be playing against each other head to head. I'll ask alternate questions, best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So Philip and Kerry, £6,700. Let's play the weakest link. Kerry, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'll go first.
Kerry, in music, with which famous party song did Black Lace have a UK #2 hit single in 1984?
Agadoo.
That is the correct answer. Philip, in pastimes, how many picture cards are there in a standard pack of 52 playing cards?
12.
That is the correct answer. Kerry, in literature, the characters Homily, Arrietty and Pod are a family of tiny people who adopt items from their human hosts in which 1952 children's novel by Mary Norton?
The Borrowers.
That is the correct answer. Philip, in which West End musical did comedian and TV presenter Les Dennis appear in the year 2000?
Me and My Girl.
No, the correct answer is Chicago. Kerry, in history, what was the name of the 1955 treaty signed by 8 communist states as a direct response to West Germany's entry into NATO?
I don't know.
The correct answer is the Warsaw Pact. Philip, the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago lies just off the coast of which South American country?
Mexico.
No, the correct answer is Venezuela. Kerry, in the TV soap EastEnders, when Cindy fled Britain with her children, Stephen and Peter, a private detective discovered she was living in which European country?
Spain.
No, the correct answer is Italy. Philip, to pull level. Which city is home to the Hermitage, the largest public museum and gallery in Russia?
Moscow.
No, the correct answer is St. Petersburg. Kerry, if you answer this question correctly, you have won, so for £6,700. In the Children's Adventure programme, The Littlest Hobo, what breed was the starring dog?
The Husky.
No, the correct answer is German Shepherd. Philip, you need to answer this question correctly to remain in the game. In which country is Kakadu National Park?
South Africa.
No, the correct answer is Australia. That means, Kerry, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £6,700. Philip, you leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm a student nurse and I've got nothing in my bank account at the moment, and I've just won what is effectively a year's wages.
When I came here today, I didn't expect to get this far. No, I thought I would actually be voted off in the first couple of rounds.
My friends and family are so proud of me already. But this is the icing on the cake.
I'm mortified, really. I'd like to have the money, you know, but can't have everything.
It's going to change my life.